This conference will now be recorded.
We are discussing about Power Query. In the Power Query, we are done with two classes. So far, we're done with two classes in the Power Query. First class, we have some introduction to Power Query. In the second class, class 2, we started discussing about data types. And then we discussed about what? Filters in the Power Query. In the class 3 also, we'll discuss about filters only. Class 3 also about filters. So continuation to filters. Continuation to filters. Continuation to filters. So in the last class, I shown you how to filter the data on a number data type column, guys. Let me open Power BI Desktop. I'll load some tables, or I'll go to Power Query, go to Home tab, click on what? Transform data. Let's bring some tables. Click on Excel. I'll just bring couple of tables from sample superstore, orders table. Along with that, I'll bring some more tables from another Excel file, EMPD EPT Excel file. Yesterday, we seen how to filter the data, filtering the data on number data type column first. And then today we'll see when you filter the data on text data type column, what options you'll have, we'll discuss guys. Right. The requirement is, let's say orders table is there. Currently in the orders table, I have 4 regions data, but while loading into Power Pivot, I just need to load central data. While loading into Power Pivot, if you just need to load central data, you need to filter in which column? Region column. How to apply the filter is go to the region column, click on the expand button. Will you choose basic filtering or advanced filtering? When you have less values, better to choose basic filtering, uncheck it and select central region. Press OK. That's fine. So let's say now I remove that filter, guys. Now I have a state column. Currently in the orders table, I have 49 states data. In the orders table, how many states data you have? 49 states data I have. But even though you have 49 states data, I want to load only one state data into the Power Pivot. Which state data I need to load it? I want to load only New York data. Which state data we need to load? Only New York data. In order to load only New York data, you need to apply the filter on state column. Now, when I go to the state column here, if you see there are some records from which state? New York. I need only that records, New York state records. I want to load only New York data. In order to load only New York data, you need to apply the filter on state column. When I go here, there are a lot of distinct values. When you have a lot of distinct values, we can go with what? Advanced filtering. So when you have more distinct values, we can go to the text filters. We can go with what? Advanced filtering options. This time, when I want to load only New York data, which option we need to choose? Equals to. Which option we need to choose? Equals to New York, right? I just want to go and select equals to, and I want to write New York days. When I write any filter condition, that filter condition will check for every row. Wherever the rows, the filter condition is true, it will load the record. I'm just writing New York guys here. When I write New York, when I press OK, so it is not showing any records. What might be the reason? So here
Equals to.
I given the New York completely in lowercase, capital small cases. But if you go and check the data in the table, so how the New York is, N is capital letter, remaining lower letter. Y is capital letter, remaining lower. Proper case you have it. So I just given in the lower case. That means text filters in Power Query is what? Case sensitive. So text filters in Power Query is case sensitive, guys. It's case sensitive. We need to give in the same case, otherwise it will not show the data. In order to modify this step, I want to modify the filter step which I applied. You need to go to that step. Beside that step there is a settings icon. When you click on the settings icon, you can modify that step. When I go and click on settings icon here, I can just go and modify it. What is that? New York. When I press OK, is it showing now? Yes. One way to modify the step is go to the step and modify it. Modify it. And the second way to modify it, instead of going to this step, instead of modifying in the settings, directly you can select the step. You can go to the formula bar. You can even modify in the where? Formula bar also. In the formula bar, I can just go and give N capital letter here and Y capital letter. When I go and change in the formula bar, will you get the output means? Yes. You can edit the step by going to the settings, or you can modify that step by going to where? Formula bar. Anywhere the output will be same. Right. So now how many states, when I click on close and apply, how many states data it will load into Power Pivot now? Only one state called what? New York. Now the requirement is I remove that step. In the state column, you have 49 states data. Into Power Pivot, I need to load 48 states data. I don't want to load only one state data. Which state data I don't want to load means which state data? New York. New York data I don't want to load except New York data. All other states data I need to load it. 48 states data I need to load into Power Pivot. How to load 48 states data? What can I go with basic filtering? So rather than going with basic filtering, best to go with when you have more distinct values, better to go with what? Advanced filtering. In the advanced filtering, what is the option you need to use? Does not equals to what? New
Yeah.
York. You can just go and type New York. When I write does not equal to New York, except New York, remaining all the 48 states data, it will load into Power Pivot. When I click on close and apply, remaining all the states data, it will load into Power Pivot, guys. Fine, like this, based on the output we need to choose the filtering option. Let's say I want to load only the customers whose customer names are starting with A. Currently, this orders table have customers names starting with A to Z, starting from A till Z. But I don't want to load all the customers A to Z. I want to load customers name starting with A from B to Z. I don't want it. When you want to load only customers whose names are starting with A, tell me guys, how to load only the customers whose names are starting with A? Can you go with basic filtering? When you have dozens of values,
No.
basic filtering is not recommended. You can go with advanced
Reject
filtering
filter.
options. We can go with advanced filtering options. Advanced filtering options, go to customer name and text filters. Which option you need to choose here? Begins with what? When I press OK, it will show only customer names whose names are starting with what? Yeah. Right, guys. The second requirement is now when I click on close and apply, it will show only customers whose names are starting with what? Yeah. This time I want to show customer. I'm removing the step. I want to load into the Power Pivot whose customer names are starting with A as well as B. A as well as what? B. Someone tell me how to load the customers whose names are starting with A as well as B. We need to go to filtering and advanced filtering. Again, what you need to choose here? Begins with first condition is what? Begins with
Yes.
A. Second condition is what? Again begins with B under R. Or
And
I need to go with what? Or. So either first condition is true or either second condition is true. I want to load it. If the employee name is either A starting with A or either B, I want to load it. If any one condition is true, I want to load it. But you need to go with what? Or when I press OK, it will show only customer names whose names are starting with A as well as what? B. You don't find any customer other than A and B. Let's say this time my requirement is I need to load the customers whose names are starting with A, B as well as what? See, if you want to load the customers whose names are starting with A, B and C, how to write the filter condition? I'm removing the filter condition. I'll write it again. Go to customer name. What? Text filters. Which option? Begins with, you can write A or you can select begins with B. We are able to write only two conditions here. How to write the third condition? So here in the advanced, you have two things again, basic and advanced. In the advanced, when you are in the basic, it can allow you to write how many conditions? Only two conditions. If you want to write more than two conditions, in the advanced, you need to go with one more advanced. You just go to advanced. When I go to advanced, it is asking to add what? One more class. You can add the one more class and you can choose what here again. Or customer name begins with what? Same. So when I press OK, it will show customer name starting with A, B, as well as what? Same. Right. So in the same way, I want to load the customers whose names are starting with B to Z except A. Now customer names we have A to Z, A, B towards Z. But requirement is into Power Pivot, I need to load the customer name starting with B to Z. Except what? Except A, remaining B to Z, I need to load it. So except A, if you want to load B to Z, which option you will choose here? Does not begins with, does not begins with, what you will choose? Yeah, when I press OK, it will show all the customers except the customer name starting with what? Yeah, yeah, the customer name starting with A, it will stop and remaining all it will show. That is for that what you are choosing here does not begins with. Does not begins with. Same way, you might need to write the conditions based on ending characters. Let's say, let's say I want to show only customers whose names are ending with LN. Whose names are ending with what? LN or few characters. When you want to load the customers whose names are ending with LN, what you need to do? Text filters. What you need to choose here? Ends with. You can write, I need to load only the customers whose names are ending with what? LN. So if you see, this time it will show only whose names are ending with what? LN. Ends with. If you want to write, check the condition on ending characters, you can check it. Another option, along with the ends with, what is the second option you have here? Does not ends with. I want to show the customers whose names are not ending with LN, guys. Does not ends with LN. When I press OK, it will show customers whose names are not ending with what? LN. If the names are not ending with LN, then it will show. Right. So sometimes begins with will check starting. There is something called begins with. When I write LN, it will check only in the starting. If only customer names are starting with LN, it will show it. Ends will check only in the ending. So there are sometimes the names will be like this. Let's say my name, they can enter like this. A Sunil Kumar, or else just write K. A Sunil Kumar. Sometimes just write Sunil A Kumar. Sometimes they'll write A Kumar Sunil. So if you see, the Sunil sometimes will be there in the middle, sometimes will be there in the starting, sometimes will be there in the ending. Starts with will give only this, ends with will give only this. But my requirement is when the name is having a word called Sunil, I need to show it. Whether it is starting or whether it is end or whether it is middle, when the name is having Sunil in it, I want to show it. Now, when the name is having Sunil, when you go with begins with, it will check only where starting. When I go with ends with, it will check only where ending. So wherever it is, what happened? 1 second, 1 second. What happens? Just a second. Just a second, guys. Just give me a second. Someone confirm. Are you able to see the screen?
No,
No,
Sunil.
Online?
No.
no,
No, right?
no, sir.
No,
Sir.
no,
No,
sir.
No,
no,
sir.
sir. No,
Just a
sir.
second. There is some issues with meeting link. Just a second. Fine. Let's start. Right. The requirement is now I need to show customer names contains LN, guys. Customer names contains what? LN. So previously I written only customer names begins with LN. Begins with LN means it will show only in the starting. So or else when I write ends with LN means it will show only ending. But the client is asking in the customer name, if ln is there, whether it is there in the starting or middle or end, I need to show it. How to show that is, you need to go with customer name, text filters, you need to go with what? Contains this time. When I go with contains, when I go and write ln here, when I press OK, so it will show whether here the ln is there in where? Ending. Contains means it will show wherever it is, whether it is starting or ending or middle, wherever it is, it will show. Here you have what? Starting. Even in the middle, if you have ln, it will show it, guys. Contains means wherever it is, it will show. Next option you have is, I want to show only the customers whose name is not having ln in it. I need to show only the customers whose name is not having ln in it. You need to go with what? Does not contains. What do you need to write here? ln. When I write does not contains ln, it will show only the customers whose name is not having ln in it. Whether it is starting or middle or ending, if there is ln, it will not show now. So it will show only the customers whose names is not having ln in it. Like this, on the text column, when you go with advanced filtering, self-explanatory options are there. Self-explanatory options: equals, does not equals, begins with, does not begins with, ends with, does not ends with, contains, does not. Self-explanatory options, guys. Now what we will try to understand is, so far you are writing the filter conditions on only one column at a time. How many columns you are writing filter condition at a time? Yesterday and today we seen how to write the filter condition on only one column at a time. Now we will see how to write the filter conditions on multiple columns at a time. We'll see what? How to write filter conditions on multiple columns at a time. Multiple columns at a time, guys. Let me show you. There will be some cases where we need to write multiple filter conditions of multiple filter condition on multiple columns at a time. We need to write it. Let me give you an example here. The example is, I have an employee table, guys. My requirement is what is currently in this table, how many employees are working in 10th department? How many employees? 3 employees. And how many employees have job as salesman? You have job column. How many employees have job as salesman? 4. 4. 3 employees belongs to 10th department. 4 employees belongs to salesman. My requirement is, into Power Pivot, I need to load the employees whose department number equal to 10 as well as job equal to what? Salesman. If the employee department number is 10, send it to the Power Pivot. If the job is salesman, send it to where? Power Pivot. How many records I need to load into Power Pivot this time means? 7 records. Totally how many records you have? Totally 15 records. Out of 15 records into Power Pivot, I need to, how many I need to load? 7. From complete data, if you want to load subset of data, what you need to use here? Filters. Now tell me how to write the filter condition. Let me write the requirement. Load the employees where department number equal to 10, department number equal to 10, as well as what? Job equals to salesman. Right. Tell me how to write the filter condition now. You already know here one filter condition I need to write on which column? Number column. Department number is what? Number date type column. Another filter condition you want to write is what? Text column. We already discussed how to write the filter condition on number column. How to write the filter conditions on what? Text column. Now you guys tell me how to write the filter condition. First, we might need to go to one of the column called either job column or department number column. Just let me go to department number column, go to number filters equals to which department we need to load? 10, press OK. Then go to the job column, write the filter condition, text filters equals to what? Salesman. When I press OK, you are writing two filter conditions on two columns separately. When you write them, you are not seeing any records here. How many records you are seeing? 0 records. But how many records we want to see? 7 records. Tell me, look at this and tell me, in order to load the employees whose department number is 10 and job equal to salesman, I need to load the employees who belongs to 10th department as well as job equal to salesman. I need to load 7 records into the Power Pivot. If you want to load 7 records, you need to write the two conditions. Between the two conditions, whether we need to use under or again, just a second, guys. There is some issues with the meeting link. Just give me Unable to see the screen. Just a second. There is some issue with the meeting link. Just give me a few seconds of time. Just a second. Maybe internet is slow. Right. There is some network issues. Fine. Anyway, now you are able to see the screen, I think. Right. Now I need to write the two conditions here. First condition I need to write is department number equal to what? Second condition I need to write is job equal to salesman. Between these two conditions, as per I want to load 7 records. If you want to load 7 records between these two conditions, whether you need to use under or guys, you need to use or. See, my requirement is either a first condition is true or either a second condition is true. Out of these two conditions, if any one condition is true, I want to load the record. If any one condition is true, if you want to load the record, you need to use what? Or. But if you go and individually write the conditions, first condition I'm writing department number equal to 10. Second condition I'm writing job equal to salesman, guys. When you go and write the conditions individually, condition 1 and condition 2, between condition 1 and condition 2, by default it will take which logical function is. It will take what? And when it take and logical function, you will not get any records. And means both the conditions are true, then only it will show the record. So now when you go and try to write the conditions separately, you will not get the expected results. You will not get what? Expected results. Then how to show it is, sometimes there is a requirement where we need to write the filter conditions on 2 columns at a time. So when you want to write, now the requirement I said it clearly. I need to load department number equal 10 and job equal to salesman. When I go and write individually, like job equals to salesman, job equal to salesman, and another condition when I go and write department number equal to 10, department number equal to 10, what happens is it will go and write two different conditions here. Between these two different conditions, which logical function it will take? And so no row will satisfy both the conditions. Here the problem is, whatever the two conditions I written, no row will satisfy both the conditions. That is the reason output you are getting how many records here? 0 records you are getting. So in this case, what you need to do is at a time we need to go and write filter condition on 2 columns. How to write at a time filter condition on 2 columns is, go to job column, text filters equals to, when I'm in the basic, it will allow you to write the filter condition on only 1 column. I'm currently in where? Basic. It will allow, when you are in the basic, it will allow you to write the filter condition on how many columns? Only 1 column. If you want to write the condition on 2 columns at a time, we need to switch to where? Advanced case. When you want to write more than two conditions on same column, if you want to write 3 conditions, you need to go to where? Advanced. Or if I want to write only 2 conditions on 2 different columns, when you are in the basic, can I write 2 conditions on 2 different columns? No. If you want to write now when you are in the basic, you can write the filter condition on only which column? Job. Now I want to write the filter condition on job column as well as what? Department number column. When you want to write the filter condition on job column and department number column, where you need to go? Advanced. When you go to advanced, you can write job equals to what first? Salesman. Under or next condition is what? Department number equals to what? Then, like this, in the basic, it will allow you to write the condition on only 1 column. When you switch to advanced, it can allow you to choose the column and you can even write what? Conditions. When I press OK, how many records you are getting? 7. The employees who belongs to 10th department, we are getting it. Along with that, the employees who are working as what? Salesmen, you are getting it. Totally, our 7 records are getting. Right? Like this, there are sometimes to achieve our requirement, we need to go and write the filter condition on 2 different columns at a time. When you want to write two filter condition on 2 different columns at a time, where we need to write? In advanced. The second requirement is load the employees. Here we need to write department number equal to 10 or job equal to what? Salesman. So to achieve the first requirement, we need to go with OR, guys. 2 different columns OR condition. Next requirement is load the employees where department number equal to 30, department number equal to 30 and job equal to salesman. And job equal to what? Salesman. My requirement is I need to load only 30th department employees. In 30th department also I need to load only what? Salesmen. Here also I need to write condition on 2 different columns. But this time the requirement is when I go to 30th department, let me remove this filter. When I go to 30th department, how many employees are there in the 30th department is currently starting from 9th employee till 14th employee, they belongs to which department? 30th. How many employees are there means? 6 employees. I don't want to load all the 6 employees into the PowerPoint. In the 30th department also, I want to load only salesmen. If you go here, in the 30th department, starting from 9th row till 14th row, the employees belongs to 30th department. 30th department employees have how many different jobs? Salesmen, manager, clerk. How many jobs you have? So even though 30th department 3 jobs are there, I need to load only 30th department employees. In 30th department also I need to load only what? Salesman. Only salesmen I need to load it. How to load 30th department only salesmen is in order to just a second. Give me some time, please. Give me some time. Right. In 30th department also, I need to load only salesmen's guys. This time, you need to write 2 conditions. Between the 2 conditions, what is the operator you need to take this time? What is the logical function? And the requirement is when both the conditions are true, then only I want to load the records. Previously, what? Out of these 2 conditions, any one condition is true. I want to load the records. This time, both the conditions are true, then only we need to load the records. For that, what I need to do is this time you can comfortably go and write the filter condition like this, guys. Go to department number column, number filters equals to 30. Press OK. And then go to which column now? Job column, text filters equals to what? Salesman. How many records you have? 4. 30th department salesmen, we have 4. It is showing. When you write 2 filter conditions separately, what is the logical function it will take between them? And right, when it is and, even when you go and write filter conditions separately, it will work. When it is or, when you go and write filter condition separately, it will not work. Now, rather than going and writing the filter condition in 2 steps, how to write in 1 step? On the 2 columns at a time, I need to write the filter condition. How to write it in 1 step? Select department number column. Go to where? Number filters equals to where we need to go? Advanced. We need to write department number equals to what? 30. Department number equal 30 under R. And next condition is what? Job equals to what? Salesman. When I press OK, how many records you have? 4. At a time, we are able to write condition on how many columns here? 2 columns. You can even write 3 columns, 4 columns also conditions. Only thing is what output I need to get the output, what filtering we need to apply, you need to know, guys. Right? We clearly understand how to write the filter conditions on 2 different columns at a time. On a single column, how to write 2 3 conditions we understand. On multiple columns, how to write conditions and when to use or logical function and unlogical function we understand, guys. Right, so far we understand what are the filtering options we have on the number column, what are the filtering options we have on the number column we discussed. And once after the number column, we understand what are the filtering options we have on a text data type column. What is the next pending one we have? Date column. What are the filtering options we have on the date column? Let's check it, guys. On the date column, you'll have a lot of filtering options. Filtering the data on date data type column. Date data type columns. So let's say I want to filter the data on order date column. My requirement is I need to load only the employees who, so I need to load only the customers who placed the order in the year 2017. So currently in the order date, we have orders starting from 14 year to 17 year. Starting from 14, 15, 16, 17, 4 years data you have. So when I click on close and apply, by default it will load all the 4 years data into Power Pivot. Instead of loading all the 4 years, I want to load only 17 data. Instead of loading all the 4 years, I just need to load only 17 data. When I want to load only 17-year data, we need to apply the filters. Go to order date. So in order to load 17-year data, can I go and do it in basic filtering? No. Basic filtering will have dozens of dates. Going and selecting the dates which are from 2017 is not possible. Then we need to go and try with what? Here, end goal is from this orders table, what subset of data we need to load into Power Pivot. In order to load that subset of data, which filter condition you need to write? You need to carefully understand, guys. In order to load only 2017-year data, we need to go to order date. We need to choose one of the filter condition here. Go to the date filters. There are a lot of options here, advanced filtering options. On the date, you have a lot of options. First one is what? Equals, before, after, between, in the next, in the previous. Like this, lot of options are there. Out of all these options, what is the best option to load 2017-year data? We need to choose it, guys. One way to load the 2017-year data is go to the date filters, click on what? Between. I want to load the orders starting date is starting date between means it will select what? Is after or equal to, is before or equal to. Starting from which date I need to load? First Jan 2017. Starting from 1st Jan 2017 till where? 31st December 2017. So when I write these two filter conditions, it will show how, which records means. In order to select the date, you need to click on this calendar button. When I click on the calendar button, I need to go to 2017. When I click on this one arrow, it will take to the previous month. Now we are in October month. When I click on this single arrow, it will take to the September. It will take to the August. Like this. When you click on double arrow, it will go to the years. I need to go to which year now? 2017. Which month? January. Which date? First. Starting from 1st January is after or equal to. And next condition is what? Again, we need to go to which year? 2017. Which month? December. December 31st. When I press OK, now you will see only orders for which year? 2017 year. Complete 2017 year. Starting from January to December. When I click on close and apply, it will load only which year data means? 2017. Right, guys. The next one is, let's see here what options you have. In the date filters, you have options, guys. First one is what? Equals to. Let's say you want to load only one particular date data. My requirement is, in the order date, I have a lot of dates data, but I want to load only one date data, that is 16th of August 2016. 16 August 2016 data, I want to load into Power Pivot. Only one particular date. How to load 16 August data? Date filters, you need to click on what? Equals to. You can just write here. Let me quickly go to 16 year. Which month? August month. Which date data we need? 16. Press OK. When I press OK, on that particular date, how many sales transactions are there? Only 3 sales transactions are there. When I click on close and apply, only the data will be loaded into Power Pivot, guys. Let's say I want to load all the data into Power Pivot except 16th August 2016, guys. 16th August what? Except this date, remaining all the data I need to load into Power Pivot. What you need to do here? Date filters. If you see here, do you have any option called does not equals to? You have equals to. Do you have any option called does not equals to here? You are not seeing. You need to go to where? Custom filter. When I go to custom filter, then here it is showing what? Directly, when I click on here, is it showing does not equals to? Directly it is not showing. It is showing equals to, then it is showing what? Before. Instead of that, if you go to where? Custom, in the custom, you might see what here? Does not equals to. Does not equals to, which date data I need to load is, I need to go to 2016 year, August 16. Except this date, remaining all the data I need to load it. When you write that except this date, not equal to this date, remaining all the data it will load. Like this, what data we need to load into Power Pivot, based on that we need to choose the filter condition, guys. Let's take an example. I need to load only the orders which was placed on, I need to load only the orders which was placed till 31st December 2016, guys. Into Power Pivot, I need to load only the orders which was placed till 31st December 2016. If you want to load the only orders which was placed till December 31st 2016, which option you need to choose here? Currently you have the orders for which year? Even for 2017 is also there. They are not expecting to see it. They are expecting to see only the orders in the Power Pivot which was placed till what? 2016 December 31st. December 31st. They want to see the orders only till this date. In order to load only the orders till that date, you need to go to where again? Date filters. Which option you might need to choose? So you need to choose what? Before. Before, what is the date you need to choose here? Okay, you selected before. What is the date you need to choose? Hmm? What is the date you need to choose? I want to load the data till 31st December 2016. To load the data till here, you are selecting is before. Is before, what is the date you need to select here? 1st Jan 2016. 1st Jan 2016. Yes, if you choose is before, you need to select 1st Jan 2015. Now you need to go to year called 2015 and you need to go to a month called January, or else sorry guys, 2017, right? 2017, where January 1st. When I select 2017 January 1st, when I press OK, it will load only the orders. If you go and check, you will not find any orders belongs to 2017 year. You'll see only till 2016 year. So here, one way you can select is before. Instead of is before, there is another option called what? Is before or equal to. Is before or equal to. When you go and choose is before or equal to, what is the date we need to give here? We need to go to December 31st. You can give what? 31st December 2016. Is before or equal to means you can even include that date. Like this, we can choose any option here. Is before or is before or equal to. Based on option you are choosing, you can choose the date. Let's say I want to load only the orders which are starting from 1st January 2017, which are starting from 1st January 2017 till now. Till now, whatever the orders are there, all the orders I want to load into Power Pivot. Power Pivot need to have the orders starting date is what? 1st January 2017 till now. When you want to load only the orders which is starting from 1st January till now, which option you might choose? We can choose something called what? After. We can choose something called after, or we can even choose what? Is after or equal to. Is after or equal to, you can just directly go to 2017. You can go to January month and we can choose what here? When I press OK, it will start the data. If you go and check this, when you sort it in ascending order, you'll have the data from where? 1st January. Again, there is an issue with meeting link. Just, just give me some time, guys. Just give me a few seconds. I think there is some internet fluctuations. Right. Like this, based on the data we need to load into Power Pivot, based on what type of data we need to load into Power Pivot, we need to go and write what? Filter condition, guys. what data we need to load, what is the right option to filter the data, we need to choose it. Like this, there are self-explanatory options like this. So when I go to a custom filter, you can see all the options guys here. Equals to, does not equals to, before, is before or equal to, is after or equal to. There are other options like is in the next, is in the previous. Let's talk about them. So mostly we might use the options like equals, before, after, between. These options I already discussed. If you want to load only the dates between start date and end date, we can go with between. Next option you are seeing is what? Is in the next, is in the previous. Let's say every time in my Power Pivot, I need to see only last 4 years data. Sorry guys, not this Word document. Every time in the Power Pivot, I just need to see only last 4 years data. Now currently I'm in 2022 year. When you are in 2022 year, I want to see last 4 years data. If you go here, there is an option called is in the previous. When I select is in the previous, what I can pass is I can pass one number here and I can choose one time period. Is one time period here. We can choose one time period. Let's say every time in the Power Pivot, I need to see what data is only last 3 years data. When I'm in 2022, I need to see last 3 years data. Last 3 years data is 2021, 2020, 2019. So when I'm in 2020 year in the Power Pivot, I need to see this 3 years data. Tomorrow, when you reach out to 2023 in the Power Pivot, which 3 years data you need to have? 20, 21, 22. At any time in the Power Pivot, I need to see last 3 years data based on the current date. Based on what? Current date. So in that case, how you need to write the filter condition is you need to go to orders table. That filter condition need to change based on the order date case. Based on the order date. Based on order date, if you want to change the filter condition, you need to go to date filters. You need to select what? Is in the previous. Is in the previous. If you want last 3 years data, you can select 3. And here you can choose one time period called what? Yes. When I select last 3 years, when I press OK, it is not showing any data. What is the last 3 years for us? 19, 20, 21. So we have data in the order date till what date? Only 17. So when you write is in the last 3 years, it will write the filter condition based on our current year. Based on what? Current year. Current year is 2022. Last 3 years is what? 19, 20, 21. It will show it. See, whenever there is a requirement, something like that, then we'll go and use it. But very rarely we might use it. At any time in the Power Pivot, when I'm in 2025, I need to show 3 years data like 24, 23, 22. 3 years data. At any time in the Power Pivot, I need to see 3 years data based on our current year. Based on our current year, last 3 years data. Let's say at any time in the Power Pivot, I need to see only current year data. At any time in the Power Pivot, when I go and load the data, when I load the data in the year 2022, in the Power Pivot, I need to see only 2022 data. When I load the data in the 2023, I need to see only 2023 data. When you want to load only the year data, how can we load it? This time, there will be other options here. When I go here, date filters, you have something called is in the next, is in the previous, right? So in the same way, when I go to year, there is some option called what? This year. When I go and select this year, always it will show which year data here. In this table, now it will show this year means always currently you are in 2020 year. So tomorrow when you are in 2023 year, in this table you can see 2023 year data. So it will work based on the system date, guys. Let me change the system date and let me show these filters. I'm telling that these filters will work based on what? System date. So as we don't have the data, I'll go and change the system date to 2017. I'll go and change the system date to which year? 2017. Change the system date just to check it whether they are working or not. So I'll just change the system date. I'm going to which year now? 2017. Click on change. I'm just intentionally change the date whether these filters are not working or not. When I go and select date and when I go and select what year, this year, which year data it is showing? 2017 data. Current year is what? 2017. Or else I want to show last 3 years data. Now currently I'm in 2017. Last 3 years means what? 16, 15, 14. So when you want to show last 3 years data, you need to select what? Date filters. Which option is in the previous? What you will select? 3 years. When I press OK, which 3 years it is showing? 16, 15, 14. If you go and check it, you will see any 17 data. No. You asked to load what? Last 3 years data. Based on this date, current year is 2017, last 3 years data. Like this, based on the data we need to load, we need to choose the option. Let's say I'm currently in the 2017 year. I want to load 2018 data. 2018 data. Let's say there are sometimes target data will be there in the tables. There are sometimes what data you will have? Target data. Target data means you will have what date means future date. You will have what? Future date. Let's say I have some, let's take an example, target date is there. In the column target date is there. So in the ship date column, you have 2018 records also. Currently I'm in 2017. I need to load 2018 data into Power Pivot. How to load only 2018 data into Power Pivot means you need to go to where? Date filters. You need to select what? Is in the next. What you need to select? One. Which option here? Here. Next 1 year is what? 2018. It will show only 2018. See, generally, this options very rarely we might use it. Is in the next, is in the previous, very rarely we might use it. Just keep in mind, is in the next, is in the previous will work based on what? System date. Based on system date. Let's take an example. I'm just going to order date. I'm selecting is in the previous. I'm writing 3 days. Is in the previous 3 days means what? Current day is what? Second. Last 3 days is what? Just a second, guys. Last 3 days is 30, 31, first. So when I press OK, it will show that data 30, 31, and even what? First, last 3 days data. Based on our system data, it will write the filter condition. That for some reasons, when you want to filter the data based on your system data, you need to use the options like what? Either is in the previous or is in the next, or else is in the next 2 days. When I select is in the next 2 days, today is second. What is the next 2 days? Third and fourth. When I press OK, it will show which data? 3rd and 4th November data. Only 2 days data it is showing. Like this, based on our system date, if you want to write some filter conditions, you can choose the options like is in the next or is in the previous. Simple options, very rarely we might use it. Don't bother much about it. Okay. The next one is what? Is earliest. Is earliest means it will show the old data. I have order starting from 3rd January 2014. We have order starting from where? 3rd January 2014. When I select is earliest, what is the least date we have? Only the date data it will show. When I select is in the earliest, what is the least date I have? 3rd January 2014. Old data it will show. Only one date. What is the least date? I want to show latest date data. In this orders table, only latest date data I need to show. If you want to see only latest date, 1 day data, latest 1 day data, I need to see it. If you want to see latest 1 day data, which option you need to go? Is latest. When I click on is latest, what is the latest 1 day I have? 30 December 2017. Like this, if you want to see only 1 day old data or 1 day latest data, you can use is earliest or is latest. When you select is not earliest, other than 1 day old data remaining all the data it will show. When I select is not latest, what it will show? When I select is not latest except latest date, remaining all the dates it will show. So these functions, there are a lot of functions. Commonly used options will be there. Some options we will not use at all. So look at this equals before, after, between. These options might use commonly, but is not earliest, is not latest, we might use rarely, guys. We might use rarely. Like this, there are a lot of filtering options. Only end goal is what data you need to load into the Power Pivot. To load the data, which filter option might help us? Only end goal is which filter option might help us. You need to decide. Let's say I want to load 2016 data, guys. When I want to load only 2016 data, what is the easiest way to load it is currently I'm in which year? 17. I want to load 2016 data. To load that, you can go to year. There is something options called what? Next year, this year, last year. If you want to load 2016 data, I can select what? Last year. So again, this filter condition it will write based on your system date only. Based on what? System date. Or else this year means there is one option called this year. Understand the difference between when you go to year, there is option called this year, year to date. What might be the difference between this year and year to date? This year means starting from, so what is the current year? 2017. Starting from 1st January 2017, 2017 till 31st December 2017 comes under what? This year. Year to date means starting from 1st January 2017 till today's date. 2017 till today's date. What is the today's date? 2nd November 2017. Sometimes our requirement will be starting from this year start date till today I want to load the data. Sometimes the requirement will be complete data I need to load it for that year. So if you want to load complete 2017 year data, which option you will choose? Year. You will choose what? This year. When you go and choose it, you will have December data also here. 1st December 2017 also. Why you will have 1st December 2017 data here means you choose this year. But if you go and choose, the second option there we have is what? Year to date. When I go and select year, when I click on year to date, what might be the maximum date you will have? What might be the maximum date you will have? 2nd November 2017. Year to date, starting from this year till today. Starting from this year till today, here. Like this year. Same way you have what? Quarter options also. If you want to load this quarter data, currently we are in which quarter is Q4. If you want to load Q4 data, you can load it. If you want to load last quarter data, last quarter is Q3. If you want to load next quarter data, next quarter is what? Q1 of 2018. When I click on next quarter, it will load Q1 of 2018. And this, if you want to load only quarter one data, this table have currently Q1 data, Q2 data, Q3 and Q4. But into Power Pivot, I need to load only quarter one data. Quarter one means Jan, Feb, March. If you want to load only this 3 months data, what is the easiest way to load only the 3 months data is date filters, quarter, you can select what? Q1. If you go and check, you will have only the dates for which 3 months? January month, February month, March month. So whatever the options you are seeing, we might use these options very rarely, but we don't know what kind of requirement we will have from the client. Based on the requirement we have, we might need to go and choose the options, guys. Right? Same way, we have months also to load the current month data or previous month data or next month data, or if you want to load only January month data or only May month data, you can even load it. In the same way, you can write the condition on weeks also, or you can even write the condition on days also. Let's say I want to load only today's data. When I select today, what is the today's date? 2nd November 2017. It will write only today's data. Like this, sometimes you will have a column with date and time. Now currently, what is the data type of this column? Only date. Sometimes you might have date and time. When you have time component, you can write the filter conditions on time also. When you want to write the filter conditions on time, you have something called what? Hour. Next hour, this hour, last hour. You can write the condition on minutes. You can write the condition on seconds. Frankly to speak, all these options, very rarely we might use it. Very rarely we might use it. Just remember, there are some options which might work based on your what? System date. Based on your system date. We can write the conditions, guys. Fine. Like this, there are simple options. We can write it. Whenever we need to load only the orders which was placed on 2017, I want to go and choose the right option between here. Or so based on your system date, if you want to write the condition, you can go and write the condition using the options like is using the options like what is in the next or is in the previous. Right, we understand how to filter the data on each data type column. You don't spend much time now. No one will ask in the interview about each option here. Only end goal they will ask you is, they might give you a question. I want to load so and so data into the Power Pivot. When I want to load so and so data into the Power Pivot, what filtering option you will use? What filtering option you might use? Right. Based on the requirement, thoroughly understand the requirement and what data we need to load into Power Pivot. Based on that, you need to just go and choose the filtering option, and we need to filter it, guys. This is all about the filters. So far, We're done with some introduction to Power Query and filters. The next topic, important topic we'll discussing about is, so today I'll stop here. Next class is what? Class number 4. We'll talk about inbuilt column transformations. Inbuilt column transformations. What is this inbuilt column transformations? We'll see in the tomorrow's class. Now I'll take some questions.
How can we
Okay.
filter rolling current year and the last 3 years?
Current year. Yeah, you can write or condition, right? Simply. If you want to have current year as well as last 3 years, go to date filters. First go and write what? Year, this year. Or else you just go to directly, you just go to write directly where custom filter. First, what is your requirement is you need this year. In order to load this year, you can select what? Is in this what? Year. Is in this year. And then you will choose what? Or condition. The requirement is current year I need to load as well as last 3 years I need to load. In order to load last 3 years, you can select or you can select what? Is in the previous 3 years. When I press OK, it will show current year, even last 3 years. This filter condition will show first one is current year, it will show. Last one is last 3 years, it will show. Let's say in this year, I want till today only. In this year, if you want till today, you need to select what? Year to date. Year to date.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Any questions?
Yeah, Sunil, this is all based on the calendar year, right? Year and quarter. Is it option for financial year?
See, financial year, that is different. We'll understand that in the Power Pivot.
Okay.
Generally, the filtering, it will do based on your system date here. System date. So not calendar year or financial year, based on your system date, it will give it. So even quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, this will be based on calendar year only. Financial year, how it will work, we'll discuss in the Power Pivot.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I got a small doubt regarding depot number 10 as well as job equals salesman and or conditions. Can you briefly explain in 2 to 3 seconds, sir?
So please go through the video, sir. So here, even when I explain now, you might confuse. I request please go through the video, you'll understand it. So someone is asking, what is your question? Unmute yourself. Uma Sadi. Explain the
Hello,
filters
sir.
on decimal values. What separately you will have to explain in the
Uh,
decimal numbers? Even the decimal numbers will have same options. When I go to salary column data type is
mm,
decimal number. When I go here, what different options you are finding here? You will even find the same options here
but
also, right?
yeah, but when I
Equals
use
does not
filters equal to, yeah, but how do
equals
I
to.
apply decimal point then? Is it,
It's up to you. If you
will
want to
it
load
work
only the
on,
employee,
yeah,
it will work. Let's say I want to load only the orders where sales amount is 99.99. some
yeah,
some number called 99.99. If you have that number, it will show number filters equals to what? You'll write 99.99. If there is any
99.9?
sales
Oh,
transaction
okay.
with 99.99, it will show it.
It will show. Okay, okay. So there is nothing special character or something we have to
Nothing.
insert for decimal
Directly you'll
point.
write it. Based on the requirement, you'll write
Point.
it. Same option you'll find here.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Right. Any questions? Data cleaning. This Power Query activities is related to data cleaning only. You will understand in the coming classes how we'll clean the data. Sometimes we'll get unstructured data in the sources. When you are getting unstructured data, how to even clean the data, I'll discuss. Power BI in the coming classes, when I talk about row transformations, sometimes you'll get unstructured data like this. In this unstructured data, you have lot of duplicate records, lot of blank records, lot of errors. How to clean the data, we'll discuss. We'll discuss that. Yeah, criteria will be given by the client only. Client will clearly tell that what output they want. Based on the data they are expecting in the reports, you will load the data and you will show in the reports.
Yeah, Sunil, one question. When we copy some data from some website or somewhere, let's say amount column, it comes with lot of spaces, or maybe from the PDF, it comes with lot of spaces that too uneven. If you copy here, and can you remove all the spaces, which may not be
Yes, yes. You can
equal
select the
spaces
column.
in everywhere? Yeah.
You can select the column. If there is any spaces, go to the transform. There will be some options like format, trim. Trim will remove the spaces. Or if you even want only few characters, so let's say you want 2 decimal places, select this. You can go and set. So you have some options like rounding. Go to the transform. There is something called rounding. I want only 2 decimal places. Round up or round down, round to how many decimal places? For every record, I need only 2 decimal places. You can round it.
Okay. Yeah.
There are some options where we can format this column. You can select the column. You can use the options like what you need to do. Any questions? Unmute yourself if you have any questions.
These formulas will study in future classes, right? Like X column into Y column plus or something and all.
What is the text column into Y column?
Let's say I have some value in column one, and I have to get the value in the next column by applying some percentage or multiplication.
We'll discuss. We have
Okay.
something called conditional column. We'll discuss that when
Okay.
we talk about the conditional column.
Okay.
When we talk about conditional column, there I'll discuss it.
Okay.
Right. Any other questions?
No.
Right. If there is no questions, I will stop here. We'll continue from here in tomorrow's class, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.